In this exercise, modifying configuration through the backend, we are going to manage an OSGI module with telnet. After that, we are going to create a new document meme type. And finally, we are going to export and deploy the configuration on a separate container. That part of the separate container is the same container because we have only one. We have the Liferay Tomcat 1 container. But in real life, when you export a configuration, you need to deploy that configuration in another container. But for the exercise, we are going to do the export and the deploy in the same container. Please do not forget that. First, you need to use telnet to see all the modules that you have in your OSGI container. Then we are going to restart some modules, and after that create a new meme type. Then we are going to export that configuration, and we are going to use that configuration in our same container. All the details are available here in this PDF. Now we are going to open a terminal. After open the terminal, please execute this command, telnet localhost. If you don't have telnet available on your machine, you need to install. In my case, I already have telnet, so I'm going to execute the command telnet localhost and the port. That is the default port. Now I'm connected to Apache Felix Go shell, and to see all the modules, you can execute the following command, lb. And if you want to search, you can add the text. For example, if I want to see all the modules, I can execute the command lb, list bundle, and you can see all the modules. In my case, I need to see all the blocks modules. I can execute the command lb blocks. And now I can see only modules with the name blocks. For example, I would like to stop the Liferay blocks API. You need the ID. In my case, the ID is 419. So I'm going to stop that module. It's already stopped. You can see here, resolve. Remember, in our previous video, we deactivate the module. So that's why this status resolve. So I'm going to start that module for 19. And now I can see the status. And you can see the status is active. The same I can do for that module and for that module. For example, I'm going to start that module, and also I'm going to start the 421 module. To see the final status, please execute the command lb blocks. And now you can see all are active. To close your connection, please execute the command disconnect. Do not execute exit. If you execute the command exit, you are going to stop Liferay. Execute the command disconnect. The next part of the exercise is to change documents and media configuration. Please go back to your Liferay, here, localhost 8081. You need to sign in with your administrator credentials, and then you need to go to the control panel. Please click here and then control panel. After that, go to system settings. Here you can see system settings. Now you need to find the content and data section. Here is platform, security, content and data. Here is content and data. Now you need to find Documents and Media. Here is Documents and Media. Please click in the icon Documents and Media. And now we are going to create a new meme type. Please click on the plus button. Here is plus. You're going to click. And now we are going to add the text / markdown. But before we click save, please see we have the default values. And after, we are not going to have the default values because we are customizing the values for the meme types. So now I'm going to click here in save. Now you can see the message, your request completed successfully. And now you can see this new option. When you change configurations, you're going to see these options only when you change the values. So now I can export. I'm going to export. And now I have this file, this configuration file. Here you can see the name. Here is my file. I'm going to copy, and now I'm going to paste here in the Liferay Tomcat config. I'm going to paste here. Now you have the file inside the folder config. If you see the documentation, you can read that in that part. Go to your Liferay Tomcat and then config folder. So now you have your file config here in the config folder. But you need to modify your Docker file. If you open your Docker file, here you can find your Docker file. You're going to see some examples. Here you have an example for a configuration for Elasticsearch, another configuration for Advanced System Store. Now for this exercise, we are going to copy that name. But first, I'm going to copy this section. I'm going to change the name to DL configuration. Now I have my section for DL configuration, and I'm going to change the name and copy the real name of the file. And now I'm going to replace this part, and also I'm going to replace this part. So I'm changing configuration for my image, my Liferay Tomcat image. I need to save the file, and after you need to stop your container. You're going to stop your container, then you're going to build your image. You need to build your image because we are going to uncomment this line. So now what is going to happen when you execute the command build? This file is going to be copied to this location, to your Liferay home OSGI configs, and there is going to be your new configuration file. So please remember to uncomment that line and execute the command build. An easy way to stop your Liferay Tomcat 1 is executing the command docker compose down. Executing that command, docker compose down, you're going to stop all your containers, your HA proxy container, Liferay Tomcat 1, and also your MySQL container. And now you can build your Liferay Tomcat 1. Remember, we changed the Docker file, so we need to execute again docker compose build your Liferay Tomcat 1. is not explicit in the documentation because it's part of the first exercise. Remember when we did our first exercise, we executed the command build. So now for every change you have to execute here in the Docker file, you are going to need to execute again the Docker build for your image. So now I'm going to execute Docker compose build Liferay Tomcat 1. It's going to take some time. And now I can execute the following command: Docker compose app for your Liferay Tomcat 1. If you want to see what is happening, execute the command docker compose logs, or also you can go to your dashboard and see what is happening. For example, here in the containers, you can go to your Liferay Tomcat 1 and you can see the log for your Liferay. Please remember, you need to wait until Catalina server start up, and after that you are ready to go. You can go to your localhost 8081. If you want to continue using your HA proxy, you need to run that image with the command docker compose app for your HA proxy, in case you want to use localhost at the 80 port. In my case, I'm going to use localhost 8081. Now Liferay should be running. We're going to see if it's still starting. We need to wait a little more. Now it's ready. You can see the message: Catalina start server startup. So Liferay is available at the 8081 port. Let's go to localhost 8081. Here we're going to use our administrator credentials, our test user, and now we are going to go back to the configuration. Here in the control panel, system settings, we're going to click here, documents and media, and here in service you have the text markdown. But what if you want to see the file? Where is that file? The file is available on the volume for your container. If you click here, that icon is going to open a terminal, a special terminal, and you are here in Up Liferay Downloads. I'm going to the Liferay Home folder. Here you can see your Liferay Home, and then OSGI configs. Here is the file.